Like, what's going to drive the growth for Ulta for the next, I'm going to do long timeline, 10 years. Next 10 years, what are going to be the growth stories for Ulta? Because, I would assume eventually you run out of new places to put stores, right? Within the US at least. So what are the big growth stories for you guys over the next decade?
Yeah. Well, I'll maybe think 3 to 5 years out, because
now 5 years.
Now 10 years. Now when anybody says 10 years, it feels a little like,
Who knows? We might not even have stores in 10 years. Yeah, okay.
What that's going to look like. But, multiple pieces. I mean, definitely a lot of what's happened is here to stay. So, being able to shop anywhere, shop anytime. So we see a lot of runway with things like curbside, direct to home delivery, buy online, pick up in store. Then I'll shift to the idea of what we're doing right now, which is connecting virtually. So, a lot of room in thinking about how we develop out content platforms, shoppable content platforms, how we continue to use our, virtual try-on Glam Lab, which, we launched before 2020, and it became critically important in 2020, especially when stores were closed. But even when stores opened, testers looked and still look very different.
Yep.
And the way our team has ramped that up has been incredible. We've got 12 times the engagement that we did before the pandemic. We had 11 million shades tried on in 2020. So that just shows you the engagement. We've got more than 7,000 products on there, and we're adding 500 every week. So the team has just...
Well, the insider baseball I have on that is I listened to your other podcast from October. I think you were either 6 or 8x engagement. So... continues to go up.
Doubled that now. So those types of innovations, and I'll mention Skin Advisor too. The ability to explore, play, and get guidance virtually is something that's going to be critically important over the next few years. You mentioned stores. We still think the stores are the heart of where beauty happens. I mean, the fact that people are back in the stores, just showcases that. Like, people are ready to experience beauty and, see things in person again. And we do think there's still runway for growth in the number of stores. Also, our Target partnership is
haven't even talked about that yet.
I mean, that's part of our omni-channel strategy. It's another point of distribution. They've obviously got unbelievable traffic and have really come out strong out of the pandemic year as an essential retailer that people absolutely love. So I'm excited about that growth, and we'll open 100 or so of those in the back half of this year, with many, many more to come. Excited about the experience that we're bringing together there. I think it's going to be a very innovative, upscale approach, and the power of our loyalty programs with our over 30 million, they're over 70 million, so 100 million guests between the two of us to be able to reach those beauty lovers in a new way is pretty incredible. I think there will be many more, innovative partnerships to come, and then, innovation in our e-com business as we think about the shift there. So, the stores and the e-com business play a big role together. They always have, and that continues to evolve. So I think, being able to support that and really innovate in that space, we're really proud of the app that we have, and the teams have done so much amazing work on that over the last couple of years. So we've got, amazing content, easy shoppability, Glam Lab, Skin Advisor. There's a huge amount of runway in all of those spaces for us to be able to continue to cement our leadership and our growth story. And people still love beauty, which is fantastic.
Whether they're at home or they're at work, they still love it.
They do.
And I actually, I did some investigation into the app. it was 800,000 reviews, 5.0 out of 5.0. It's pretty good in terms of and actually I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. So functionally, this is a quick question. Does digital report directly into you, or is it a separate group that reports into Dave, or how does that work?
Yeah, my peer Prama Bot leads
Yep.
the digital ecom team.
Yep.
So they're responsible for that, and then I have within my creative team, digital creative
Okay.
and product development. So that team works, hand in hand. We work hand in hand with Prama and her team to be able to bring that to life.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's when you started your career in marketing, right? Digital was, starting to be a thing, but it's not like it is today. And it's kind of wild for me to think about, as somebody that, runs like a kind of a pure technology company, how much technology there is in a company like Ulta, right? That you guys have gone out, acquired companies that are technology based, that you've got an app that's got integrated, AR, AR technology, which is super cool. It's just such a different skill set than I think you had to have when Procter and Gamble first came around. It's just really cool to see.
I agree. I was just thinking about that, Connor, a couple weeks ago because, even my early days at Quaker, when we were launching a new product, it would be, you had only a certain number of levers you could pull. You could do like a coupon in the grocery store. You could do floor talker in the grocery store. You could do an ad. You could maybe do radio. You could do an insert in the newspaper. I mean, you just didn't have.
There's you have 6 levers. Decide which ones you want to do, and okay, 20 to 25% here, and
exactly. You put together a plan and take it to leadership, and it's like, that's an amazing plan. And now I love it so much more because it's so much more dynamic. And there are always new tools, and now what's the role of TikTok, and what's and other emerging platforms, and we're doing live streaming, and the idea that all of this would be where we were going is probably would have been surreal to us 15 years ago.
Yeah, totally.
But the content centricity and the idea that as much as we are data and technology, creativity and ideas are more meaningful than ever before. So, just we try to remind ourselves that internally too, is in this era of AI and data centricity, ideas and creativity are still king.
I mean, I think they're more king than they used to be because, now there's so much out there. It's I remember watching the Super Bowl and the people watching it were kind of I don't know, didn't love the ads, right? They were okay, but that was kind of part of the reason you tuned in. And I remember it was somebody on Twitter was I don't think it's that the ads got any worse. It's I think our expectations of content have just gotten higher, right? When I go into TikTok, I laugh out loud for 40 minutes. I can't, that's just hard to replicate that because so many more people are allowed to be creative now that it's raised the collective game. And so, yeah, I'm so aligned with that.
Right. And think about how many times a week, I know we're like this, you're sharing a TikTok with, your family and friends because it's so funny and so clever.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
That's where we are with content.